Let's face it, today people, systems and services are more connected than ever. They all need access to data and systems, and that access needs to be secure, controlled and managed. The risks of doing otherwise are too great to ignore. Employees, contractors and third parties all need to access a wide variety of systems. But how do we make sure they only have access to what they need, when they need it? That's where Identity and Access Management, or IAM, comes in. Despite the power of these tools, security gaps still emerge. It's how they're used, or the lack of governance behind how they're implemented and managed. Welcome to Effective IAM Governance, a practical approach. We're going beyond theory into practical, actionable strategies. So whether you're an IAM professional or someone responsible for cybersecurity, you're in the right place.
Hey, thanks for joining me in this course. I am super excited to share my experience, and that's the focus of this course. Having received that opportunity where I'm able to sit in an organization or a business and to help them improve their IAM solution by integrating governance as part of their overall operation is what has actually driven me to compile those levels of experience in the form of a structured course to give you and to help you to develop your practical experience to prove to your employers that you are actually seeking ways to advance your skill set. Now, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the end or all that you will be accomplishing by fast forwarding into the future of this course, right to the end, to look at all that you will accomplish by jumping in and getting your hands dirty, by taking on this course, practical, hands-on approach to governance as it relates to IAM implementation or IAM solutions within an organization. So see you in the next segment. Starting point of our IAM governance journey, which got us thinking, looking at the various aspects of IAM governance. Here we look at the issues, the problems associated with IAM governance, determining what the problem we were looking at, ruling out the various assumptions, looking also at a number of recommendations, conducting our IAM governance assessment. We look at the various elements or the requisite questions or governance indicators to investigate our policies or workflows. All of these elements we actually delve into at depth within our course. So quite a lot of details. So as we went along, we moved as we looked into the overall IAM governance task. So these are all the tasks that we had covered, the practical tasks where we delve into creating our generic baseline workflow, which involve quite a significant amount of activities that were involved there. We move right along. And also, with that said, we delve further into part 2 of our course, where we look at our IAM governance, the practical application, which involve a lot of work in terms of practically developing our baselines and then going into our AWS environment to apply and to align the workflow that we had developed. So quite a number of tasks we had looked at. User resource creation, we established and created that workflow. We also developed a workflow that involves the request for advanced access, a workflow for offboarding, and all the nuances that were involved in between. Then we went on to our governance, IAM governance in depth, where we also looked at creating a strategy for effective IAM governance implementation. We looked at exploring things that can offer or occur if a strategy approach is not used when implementing IAM. From there, we delve into what can we do to ensure what effective IAM governance is. We also looked at creating a policy and standard procedure for IAM governance integration. We also went into building a roadmap to integrate governance into the IAM lifecycle. Very interesting, we look at an approach or a method called the Kipling method to governance approach for effective IAM. Then we move on to various terms and concepts, important terms and concepts associated with IAM governance. So we look at the components of an effective IAM governance security baseline framework, the practical application of this IAM governance security framework as well. We looked at the IAM governance best practices for each of these environments, AWS, Azure, GCP, and we move on from that point into looking at PAM and its involvement as part of IAM, Identity and Access Management, the disadvantages or security risk associated with implementing PAM without IAM governance, which involve quite a number of disadvantages or associated risk. From there, we were able to look at how does IAM governance ensures effective PAM? How does each of the key elements of the IAM governance framework can be used to ensure effective PAM? And we're also interested in look at creating or looking at how we could actually develop a workflow that for PAM implementation guided by IAM governance principle. And from there, we look at the tools and other important considerations associated with IAM, which entailed a checklist or criteria that can be used to select IAM solutions that ensures governance is a critical component of the IAM solution implementation. We look at implementation best practices for IAM solutions. We also looked at ways in which AI enhances governance across various industries. Very importantly, we also delve into various certification and training material that you can capitalize on to further enhance your skill set. Having gone through this course, looking at industry certifications that you can actually access. Here we are, for example, the Microsoft AWS IAM training, AWS training resources. We have GCP, Okta, all of those resources. So quite a lot we have delved into. Now we can also look. So here this is our entire journey. So guys, can you believe all this material that you have actually delved into over those past segments? Not to mention, if we should just remove these are just a reminder of some of those workflows that we would have established where we integrated governance as part of our overall workflows. We go back also to quite a number of, in terms of applying the Kipling method, we looked into our auditing in terms of doing our audit finding analysis, determining our acceptable threshold as part of our audit analysis. We also looked at the security risks that are mitigated or not mitigated if the IAM governance workflow is implemented in alignment with business objectives. They looked at various risks without IAM governance. How are these risks identified, or are these risks mitigated? We also delve into looking at the alignment between the various IAM governance element domains and the ISO 27001 controls or annex. So if you're in an organization that wants to be compliant, or you want to actually use a standard to establish your IAM governance, then you can actually align this with the elements of the ISO 27001. And these are the that you would have looked at in alignment with these recommendations. in terms of the best practices, the controls, what needs to be done in relation to these various IAM elements. So quite a lot of information we have explored in this course to definitely place you in a better position, I hope, at this point, to make you more confident, to be able to step into those organizations and to enhance the overall security posture, minimizing the risk associated with the information security, cybersecurity in these organizations. So it was indeed a pleasure to share my experience, my knowledge, my expertise in this course with you. And I wish you all the best for future courses, and I hope to see you in many more of my courses.
Welcome to the free, limited edition of this intense, resource-filled 11 hours and 25 minutes course, Effective IAM Governance, a Practical Approach. In this free version, you'll get a glimpse into the critical elements of IAM governance. To access the full, professionally structured course, complete with all resources and a certificate of completion, visit the paid version on Udemy. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
If you do decide to support my work, which I definitely will appreciate, then the structured version of this course, then this is what you're looking at. This is what you will be embarking on when it comes on to the full professional edition of this course. So here it is fully outlined in terms of what you'll be learning. These are all the various objectives, and these objectives are further broken down into this course content. And here you have 11.5 hours of on-demand. You also have a number of downloadable resources. And here you have the various content that are nicely designed and outlined. So in part 1, in terms of the content, introduction to IAM governance, here I cover all the nearest elements, the things to note, the course outline. All of that structure is there to give you far more guidance within this course. Here you have the course content for part 2, quite a number of activities, labs, lectures to give you that practical hands-on experience as you delve into this course. Quite a lot of resources to embark on. Then you have part 3, it goes on to part 4. Then you have finally, we have links where you are able to access all the resources that are used within this course. So quite a lot to benefit from when it comes on to the paid version of this course, but you can always enjoy the free edition, learn as much as you can, and for sure connect with me on LinkedIn or on the CyberJA Discord, where we can chat and have those conversations in regards to IAM governance. So see you then.
Why the need for IAM governance? IAM governance ensures access to sensitive systems is controlled and aligned with business goals. Without governance, IAM becomes chaotic, leading to security risks, inefficiencies, and compliance failures. Key reasons for IAM governance include security and risk management, which prevents unauthorized access to sensitive data. It reduces risks of insider threats, privilege misuse, and data breaches. Regulatory compliance ensures legal and industry standards like GDPR and HIPAA are met. It avoids fines and legal penalties by demonstrating control over access. Operational efficiency is key. It standardizes processes like onboarding and access requests. It reduces manual errors and delays in granting, revoking access. Auditability and accountability ensures all access is traceable and helps in forensic investigations. Business alignment makes sure that access aligns with job roles and security policies. It avoids access creep, where users accumulate excessive privileges over time. Supports modern architectures like cloud, hybrid, and remote work, providing governance in complex environments. It adapts to the growing scale of users, devices, and services. Focus on IAM governance rises due to cloud services, remote work, and increased complexity in managing access. Data breaches and cyber attacks often exploit poor IAM practices such as weak passwords. Regulatory pressure demands stronger, auditable controls over who has access to what, when, and why. Organizations realize technical tools are not enough. They need governance frameworks to guide their use. In summary, IAM governance is essential because it protects sensitive assets and ensures compliance. It improves efficiency, establishes accountability, and adapts IAM practices to modern, complex environments. IAM governance is the bridge between security, business needs, and compliance, ensuring IAM works effectively. In this course, Effective IAM Governance, we develop workflows for user onboarding and offboarding. These workflows will have governance integrated in the process. Sounds exciting? Sure, it will be fun. Wait until your instructor Richea begins diving in. But first, let's understand IAM governance workflows. What are IAM governance workflows and their importance? IAM governance workflow is a structured sequence of processes that guides how access is managed. It ensures IAM operations align with governance policies and regulatory requirements. These workflow stages cover access request, approval process, provisioning, and more. Why carefully develop IAM governance frameworks first? IAM solutions are not silver bullets. Without a solid governance framework, security gaps remain. IAM becomes a technical tool without strategic direction. Regulatory compliance is jeopardized without workflows. Access creep and privilege misuse occur without periodic reviews. Business misalignment can hinder productivity. A false sense of security emerges, relying on IAM solutions alone. Building IAM governance frameworks is essential because it defines clear policies. It standardizes access workflows to avoid chaos. It aligns IAM with business and security goals. It ensures audit readiness for compliance. IAM solutions work effectively by enforcing governance. Final takeaway: IAM governance framework equals the blueprint. IAM solutions equals the tools. You need the blueprint before using the tools.
On paper, we can all agree that designing or building out a workflow is relatively easy once we have all the necessary background information, all the necessary documentation in place. This is pretty easy in terms of actually building out this workflow that can be shared with all the relevant stakeholders to be used to integrate IAM in our governance within our IAM system. However, when we look at the actual
Why are you taking the time to learn about governance in relation to IAM? Well, you are the information security risks mitigation experts, so it's very important to understand what the general security risks are. Let us first look at the general security risks without governance in IAM. Excessive privileges, privilege creep. Users accumulate access they no longer need, increasing attack surface. Impact: unauthorized access, data breaches, insider threats. Lack of access visibility. No clear view of who has access to what resources. Impact: hard to detect anomalies, increased attack window. No enforcement of least privilege access rights aren't restricted to what's necessary for roles. Impact: unnecessary risk exposure, potential for abuse. Inadequate segregation of duties. Users may hold conflicting roles. Fraud risks, compliance violations, insider threats. Weak privileged access management, PAM. Privileged accounts are not governed. Critical systems exposed, undetected misuse. Unmonitored access changes, no audit trails for access requests, approvals, or removals. Impact: impossible to investigate security incidents. Stale accounts and orphaned access. Former employees retain access to systems. Impact: increased risk of external attacks or insider misuse. Non-compliance with security policies, IAM tools in place, but no governance. Impact: risk of audit failures, fines, and legal penalties. Now let's look at business risks without governance in IAM. Regulatory non-compliance, failing audits, penalties, loss of certifications, legal liabilities. Data breaches due to unmanaged access could lead to lawsuits. Erosion of customer trust. Customers may lose confidence in the organization's security. Operational inefficiencies. Without governance, IAM processes become inconsistent and error-prone. Delayed incident response. Without audit logs, investigations are slow or impossible. Poor strategic decision-making. Lack of access data insights hinders effective security strategy. Increased costs. Breaches, fines, and manual fixes cost more than a proactive governance approach. Failed digital initiatives. IAM without governance undermines digital transformation goals. The bottom line, without governance, an IAM solution is just a tool without rules. It might provide technical capabilities but lacks the framework for effectiveness. For a strong IAM posture, governance ensures clear policies and standards, proper role definitions and access reviews, compliance with laws and regulations, alignment of security with business goals. Thus should definitely inspire you to undertake this course. Enhancing your information security skills is essential. Keep our people, organizations, processes, and technology safe and operational.